So today I'm just going to be talking a little bit about my first week in Code Crew Code School. I'm also going to pop up a little text box just to kind of keep track of the terms that I'm using and sort of where we are in the video, basically. So to start off, I just want to talk a little bit about some of the basic programs that we're using for this course. Our first day was focused primarily on kind of getting comfortable with those programs. First, we were all given ThinkPads, and it runs Lavana Ubuntu. I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing that wrong. But basically, I have a PC that runs Windows, so this is a ThinkPad that runs Ubuntu. So we just kind of got comfortable with that, and also getting comfortable with the terminal and understanding how that works to navigate files and things like that. So we also used Slack and Github pretty heavily. Slack is pretty much just the adult version of GroupMe and is a really easy way to communicate with our professors. And GitHub is a remote repository system. I'm not going to be able to explain this super well, but essentially it allows our professors to share files and folders with us, and then we're able to download those locally, edit them, and then re-upload them to the remote site so our professors can then access those changes, essentially. And the thing that makes GitHub particularly nice is that it keeps track of all of our changes, so that if for some reason our code fails or breaks or something like that, we can always refer back to a previous version that will have comments and tracked changes. So we also deal with Intellij, which is primarily how we've been doing actual real coding. And I'll pop in a couple examples of what Intellij looks like and what some of our work looks like. So moving right into the specifics of what we've been doing, primarily we've been working with JavaScript. And like I said, we're using Intellij. Initially, we were only doing inline coding, so we would open up an HTML file in Intellij and then code JavaScript within that file, and that allowed us to just immediately go to our browser and see what our code is doing, basically. And then in the last couple days of the week, we moved to doing external files for the JavaScript code, which just makes it a little easier to make edits on the HTML file or the JavaScript code, and will be a little bit more helpful when we're working in groups and things like that. So we also dealt with functions, so simple stuff like how to print, which in JavaScript is console log, or pull up an alert or something like that. But then we moved into creating our own functions, which was really nice. We also dealt with conditionals this week, which is just, equal to, greater than or equal to, not equal to, things like that. We primarily use those when we were dealing with if statements and loops. We dealt with for loops, while loops, and do while loops. And all of this, like I said, has been in JavaScript. So now that the week has come to an end and I feel like I have a pretty good understanding of what to expect for the class, I do see a couple challenges for myself. One of them is just keeping up with all of this material, retaining all of this material. Because when we're using it and when we're in it, I feel very comfortable with it. But then as soon as we move to the next thing, I'm afraid that I'm going to kind of forget what we learned before. So, we were doing simple functions, and then we moved to while loops, and then we moved to if statements, and then I was afraid that I was going to forget the formatting for while loops and things like that. So just kind of keeping up with all that information, which I've primarily been doing by taking some pretty extensive notes and things like that. I'll also try to drop a picture of what my notes look like, which are primarily in Intellij. But outside of challenges, I'm primarily very excited about this program. The teachers are so motivated and so excited for us to succeed. The class is inside of a renovated industrial building. Like I said in the first video, this is a Memphis-based program. If you're from Memphis, it's in the Crosstown Concourse building. If you're not, you should look it up. I'll try to drop a couple pictures, but it's a beautiful building. So I really enjoy kind of waking up and going to class every morning because it just feels so good. Not only, the teachers and the material, but the atmosphere in and of itself. So that's been really fantastic. And that's gotten me really excited for week 2. I'm pretty sure we're still dealing with JavaScript in week 2, but we'll be learning another language really soon, either way. and I'm really excited to kind of move forward, learn more, get some more difficult material, and just kind of push through this course.